Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I love you guys so much, man. I never thought that my videos would inspire so many people. It is an honor to be able to create these Descendants and Zombies videos for you guys. As we remember and celebrate 10 years of Descendants today, thank you guys so much for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel. It amazes me how many people comment. It amazes me how many people hit the like button and how many people watch. Every day I'm gaining 10 hours of watch time on average. And I'm up to over 40,000 views, and it's not because I'm uploading videos, it's because you guys are contributing to the YouTube channel the way that you have been, and I can't believe it. I'm blown away by it. Honestly, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for that. I do the absolute best I can to create very different videos about Descendants of Zombies and review it very differently from other critics that review it, because that's all they're doing. They're criticizing it, and they are talking about, say for example, they talk about a song from Descendants. They will just talk about the song, they'll say if they like it or they don't. They'll rank the song, they'll rank their top 10 favorite Descendants songs of all time. That could be from the entire franchise, but they won't even talk about what the meaning of the song is and why it's so special to them. I remember a song like Life is Sweeter When You Are because of just how powerful of a message of how far kindness can go in life. I think that is really what that song tried to instill in our minds, and there's just something about Ruby's voice that gets me every single time that I hear that song. That is on the top of my Disney playlist every morning, honestly. I have this playlist of Disney songs I listen to all the time, and the different songs that I listen to are truly unbelievably cute for a guy to listen to. I listen to Go My Own Way from High School Musical 2, Wind in My Hair from Tangled, the Phineas and Ferb theme song, the Shake It Up theme song, the Good Luck Charlie theme song, the Hannah Montana theme song. You get the drift. I think that Disney has this incredible way of writing songs that really get stuck in our hearts and stay in our hearts for forever. And I think Life is Sweeter When You Are was a song that got stuck in my heart for forever, and I hope it stays there for forever. You have these franchises like High School Musical and Hannah Montana that just kind of fade off into obscurity and are forgotten about. And this is why I created this YouTube channel. I love the Descendants and Zombies franchises so much that I just wanted to ensure their legacies would last forever. That's all I ever wanted to do. I never ever wanted to say goodbye to High School Musical. I never ever wanted to say goodbye to Hannah Montana, which is why I'm so supportive of Hannah Montana's 20th anniversary next year. And I really do hope that the rumors of Miley Cyrus reprising a role as Hannah Montana are true for a tour. Even if the tour is only like 10 dates, I'm hoping that we do see a return tour, a reunion tour for Hannah Montana. And it would be really cool if the cast members like Emily Osment would return for it. In all honesty, I'd be down for it. I loved Emily Osment so much. She was my first crush as a Disney fan. It wasn't necessarily Miley Cyrus, as beautiful as Miley was, and how Miley Cyrus could sing anything. You could give Miley Cyrus a blank sheet of paper with just music notes on it, and she could create the most beautiful music that I've ever heard in my life. But Emily Osment is what got it done for me with Hannah Montana, and that's why I fell in love with Hannah Montana so much. I remember when the Hannah Montana movie premiered, and that was over 15 years ago, and I was the only guy in the movie theater. I walked in with my leather jacket. I thought I was the coolest guy in the world to have the opportunity to sit down with so many girls from so many different age demographics and watch this. And I remember the reactions the girls were giving while they were watching the movie. They were so proud to be there. I don't know how they felt about being in the theater with only one guy, but I was so honored. I was really so honored. And I remember the High School Musical premiere years ago. That was a year before the Hannah Montana movie had premiered. And I remember being there, and the theater was full. It was on a Tuesday night. Of course, it was cheap night. Jonathan Clarke goes to cheap movie nights because you get into a movie years ago, you could get into a movie for $5. And that didn't include tax. I kid you not, you could go to a movie for $5, and I missed that era when you could actually go to a movie for $5. Now you have to go to a movie with $50 or more to watch a movie premiere. And I remember going to High School Musical for $5 on Tuesday night. Just don't tell anybody. And the place was sold out, and there was this one girl, it was her birthday. She might have been, 17 years old. And she was there with her grandmother, and her grandmother looked at her and said, "We don't have a seat." And I was almost reduced to tears because I overheard her telling her that it was her birthday. This was supposed to have been her night. And I remember going over to her and I said to her, if this is it's supposed to be your night, you can have my seat. And I remember sitting up at the back of the movie theater, standing up at the back of the movie theater after giving her my seat and just feeling so honored that I was the reason that she got to see High School Musical 3. This is how much this means to me. The franchises as a whole have inspired me so much to create a YouTube channel and put $5,000 behind it and never ever forget about it. I want to make sure that the franchises and the legacies of these stars last eternally, because a lot of Disney Channel franchises are just forgotten about, like Hannah Montana and High School Musical, because I remember the popularity of these franchises, and I remember how popular Hannah Montana was. I can remember sitting out on my deck years ago, and I had this next door neighbor who loved Hannah Montana so much. She had a little girl, and she would blast the Hannah Montana music so loud that if I wanted to, I could have filed a noise complaint. But because of how close our houses were together and we were neighbors. But the thing was, I just loved listening to Hannah Montana at 11 o'clock at night. Of course, you were supposed to shut your music off at 11 p.m., but I just loved listening to it so much that I never ever did file a noise complaint. Because I was a loser myself. All I ever did was play video games. I used to play Spider-Man on PlayStation. I remember playing the very first Spider-Man game that was ever put out on PlayStation. It was based off the original animated Spider-Man series. And that was a hit on Fox TV years ago. And I remember playing that. I used to be up all night playing video games. So before I fell into this niche, I was a real loser. You know, I lived through the 1990s, and I remember how Kylie Control always wanted the opportunity to live through the 1990s, and I never forgot about it. She said that so many times in interviews. More recently, she said how she wanted to live through the 1990s, and I would have loved to have taken Kylie Control back to the 1990s and experienced the rise in popularity of the Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, NSYNC, TV shows like Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Goof Troop, the Aladdin TV animated series, the Little Mermaid TV animated series. Stuff years ago was so cool, and you came away with it with more of an appreciation than what you would have now, because they remake stuff now, and it's like, you know, is this really what the value of it is? Descendants is the first franchise that they have actually been able to remake, and remake it in such a powerful way, because this is what The Rise of Red is. It's a remake of what once was. And because it was a remake of what once was, I think it was so fabulously done. The vibe of the music is absolutely incredible. If there was ever a TV show to come away from inspired because of the music by, it would have had to have been Hannah Montana years ago. But if there ever was a movie to come away from inspired by the music and its soundtrack, it definitely is Hannah Montana. It's definitely the Descendants Rise of Red franchise, because of just how powerful it is. Hannah Montana is really stuck in my brain today, because I've been reading a lot of rumors about a rumored tour that's happening for the anniversary of Hannah Montana, which I would be incredibly supportive of. I think I would make 150 videos celebrating the release of Hannah Montana. Yes, I know my house is haunted. There's a lot of banging that happens in the background. I moved into this house. It was near a soda plantation and a chemical plant, and I jumped at the opportunity because I wanted to live the zombies experience. I wanted to feel an immersive experience of what it would be like to live near a soda plantation and a chemical plant that could have exploded. So I jumped at the opportunity to move into this house and produce my show out of it, honestly. And I think to the songs in Descendants, The Rise of Red, each one of them had a specific message. One, of course, Fight of Our Lives, was about, you know, earning the respect of each other. It wasn't necessarily about a friendship that existed between Red and Chloe eventually, which we got halfway through the movie when they were saving each other from Jabberwockies or saving each other from different situations. Like, of course, Cinderella, of course, had a path that she wanted her daughter to travel down, and then Red wanted her to go a completely different direction. So they were helping each other make sense of life. They were helping each other out of predicaments they were caught up within during the essence of time travel, which I thought was absolutely fabulous. I think that this movie had so many powerful messages, and that is the reason why so many girls have learned so much so quickly, because of just how rapidly people learn stuff from Descendants. They learned to feel accepted. They learned how bullying should not necessarily hold them back or hold them down from what they want to achieve out of life. And that's why I think Ruby is just so genuinely kind and should be offered more opportunities outside of Descendants than what she's been getting. A TV show like Coop and Cammy Ask the World lasting 2 seasons. A TV show like Gabby Dern and the Unsittables lasting 2 seasons is a far cry from what it could have amounted to. You can't honestly tell me or argue to me that Gabby Dern and the Unsittables couldn't have went 4 seasons with how popular Kylie Control is and how much she touched each and every one of your hearts. I I love watching the Worlds Collide tour over and over again because I love seeing them cry on stage. I really do love seeing them cry on stage because when they cry on stage, they're crying with meaning and they're crying with purpose. And you're crying with them. I love when I hear reactions in the crowd like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm here. I can't believe this is actually happening, which is why I would have loved to have been the choreographer or the writer and producer of the Descendants franchise, because there's just something about the reactions that I see all the time that really touches my heart, because it just shows how appreciative a little girl may be because they're seeing their idol on stage. I love that so much about Kylie Control, how she just puts her heart into everything she does. I love that so much about Ruby Rose Turner, how she just puts her heart into everything she does. She knew this was her opportunity to be a part of a franchise that meant so much to her at just 9 years old, and she really ran with that. And the torch was passed from Dove Cameron to Kylie Control, but I think you couldn't have passed it to a more honorable person who was going to treat this role with so much prestige like she did. Because you can pass the torch to anybody and they can just ruin a franchise, but Kylie Control treated this opportunity with so much prestige and the role with so much prestige, and that's why she was able to bring a character like Red to life. And while people may have had doubts because they criticized it so much, she did such a fabulous job with that. And that's why I love telling you so many stories about my experience being a Descendants fan, because it's one thing to hear somebody sing a song, but when you hear somebody sing a song with so much emotion put behind it, it gives the song so much more meaning, and it gives you as a fan of Descendants a chance to experience in a way that it was meant to be experienced. Because I mean, Descendants had not been produced for over 5 years, so I can see why there would have been so much doubt in somebody's mind, especially when you heard the cast names being dropped: Kylie Contrell, Neela Baker, Ruby Rose Turner. You didn't know quite what to make of it, because you're going all the way from, you think back to when Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson were such powerful, iconic characters as Maleficent's daughter and the Evil Queen's daughter, and how much they meant to the franchise. And then people started criticizing it, and you were thinking to yourself, what kind of era are we about to enter now? Is The Rise of Red really going to amount to anything spectacular? And it really did. It really did, because it touched so many people's hearts, and the Descendants universe gained about 5.2 million fans, if not more, because of it. The greatest honor of my life has been able to sit behind this podcast microphone and talk about Descendants and zombies in a way that's been meant to be talked about for forever. I wish I could have been here 10 years ago when Descendants first kicked off to offer you my critiqued analysis about Descendants, because I have a PhD in this, according to some fans. I just speak from my heart. I don't prepare anything. I just speak from my heart and how I feel about it. And that's what makes these videos so different and so inspirational to a lot of people, I guess, is because I just speak from my heart. When I first heard the song If Only, that was Dove Cameron's real huge song, real huge number in the Descendants franchise. And I thought about how everything could possibly happen for somebody because of this song. And that was the message behind the song If Only. How no matter what you're going through in life, you can make it out. No matter how much something seems unreachable in your life, you can reach out and grab it, because it seems so far away and impenetrable for you to achieve, but it's so reachable that sometimes you just don't realize how reachable it is. The essence of Descendants was always that a dream is possible. And I've never, ever wanted to take that away from anybody. Just because people are saying that Dove Cameron is never going to reprise her role for Descendants, I never, ever wanted to doubt anybody's hopes that we would see Mal return for Descendants. I know a lot of people make these thumbnails and these videos suggesting that Red and Chloe are going to have a baby. Red is eventually going to fall in love with somebody. I hope if she falls in love with anybody, she falls in love with me, honestly. Because I have a greater appreciation for the Descendants franchise than any guy you could bring in to play Red's love interest or the Prince Charming in Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. People are already even uploading behind-the-scenes looks at Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. How can you even upload a video with behind-the-scenes footage in it when the movie hasn't even had any PR release for it yet? All we know is that the movie is going to be called Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. It was a teaser to get everybody ready and get everybody excited for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. People don't need to be uploading videos encouraging people to believe that this is what happened behind the scenes. We'll find out what happened behind the scenes as the movie gets closer. Disney has an absolutely fabulous way of marketing, a really fabulous marketing strategy for those of you that don't know. And as the movie gets closer, about 5 months months before its release, we'll see more behind-the-scenes footage, more exclusive interviews, more PR, and we'll be able to make sense of it more. I just wanted to talk about Descendants in a way that it was meant to be talked about for a long time, because I've seen a lot of videos where a lot of the stars have been criticized, and so much so they don't even research themselves anymore on search sites like Google and Bing. I want Kylie Cantrell and Ruby Rose Turner to know they didn't do anything wrong with how people feel about them. I know that Kylie's been criticized because she refers to her fans as cuties. I want to say this. I think that is an adorable tagline to attach to your fans and a great way of appreciating your fans, and you shouldn't refrain from calling your fans cuties. I know she stopped doing that because a lot of people were criticizing her for it. We need to stop. We really need to stop. I mean, the girl is, what is Kylie Cantrell, 19? Hey, Google. How old is Kylie Cantrell? I think she's 20.
20 years old.
Yeah, she's 20. So she turned 20 back in June. And we're criticizing her so much that she's crying. We need to stop. We need to stop, and we need to stop now. If we're going to do anything for Kylie Cantrell, support her as the red character. Support Mila Baker as Chloe Charming. I know I don't talk a whole lot about Mila Baker, but I did love her so much. I loved her on the Are You Afraid of the Dark reboot because I was the biggest Are You Afraid of the Dark fan ever. I remember watching Are You Afraid of the Dark in 1992. 1992! I was 8 years old and I watched Are You Afraid of the Dark, and that was a great show to me. I watched every episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark. If there was an Are You Afraid of the Dark premiere happening on a Friday night, I was there. I was so afraid to go to sleep after watching the Are You Afraid of the Dark original TV series with Dr. Vink, portrayed by Aaron Tager, who passed away a number of years ago. And I loved how she was able to bring characters like Mr. Sardo, accent on the dough, if I can quote Mr. Sardo, a legendary Are You Afraid of the Dark character, how she was able to bring those characters to life and really make us feel as if were members of the Midnight Society. I would have loved to have been one of the guys sitting at the campfire for the Are You Afraid of the Dark TV series and been able to tell you stories. Because I have this unbelievable way of being able to tie in stories of my own life and my own experiences to Descendants and Zombies, which everybody is so incredibly fond of. I love the Zombies franchise too because of just how kind Meg Donnelly is and how connected she is with her fans. And then Meg Donnelly is on videos on TikTok saying that she's feeling like she's not as good as what people are saying she is. There's a reason, Meg, why people are saying you are as good as what you are, because they want you to know that they know you are good, you're better than what you think you are. And a lot of that has to do with how people have been criticizing Meg Donnelly for her point of view and how she sings, and the Masked Singer. And Fox are ridiculous too, because Fox will look at you and they will say, well, you have to do this, you have to perceive yourself this way, and if you're signed to a label, then this is what the label thinks you should perceive yourself for having been. And this is the reason why, and why I have a profound amount of respect for people like Meg Donnelly and Kylie Cantrell for producing albums now independently, because they don't want to have to listen to labels anymore for how the label thinks they should be perceived. The reason why Meg Donnelly is giving herself such criticism is because Fox will look at you and they will criticize you. Everything they can find to criticize about you, they will. Fox are horrible for this. And I think that Meg Donnelly deserves a far more amount of credit than what she's ever been given. You know, I think we need to leave Meg Donnelly's opinions about her relationship out of the conversation as well, because a lot of people are asking Meg Donnelly a lot of very personal questions. I've loved Meg Donnelly ever since I first saw her on Zombies. I didn't have a clue about American Housewife or the Winchesters. How I found out about Meg Donnelly was the first Zombies movie back in 2018. I was like all of you. I was a loser, eating a big bag of Doritos, playing video games. I was streaming video games every night of my life, and I have every video game you can think of, from Grand Theft Auto to Crash Bandicoot to Spyro the Dragon to Final Fantasy to whatever Resident Evil. I have every Resident Evil video game there is to have played. I must have collected all. If there are 15 Resident Evil video games in total, I have all 15 of them. And some girl is watching this video right now saying, hey, Jonathan Clarke, you are really sweet. Tell me more about your life. All you guys got to know is that I am the most genuinely kind guy to ever create a video about any aspect of Disney and any part of the Disney Revolution. What the Disney Revolution is a time where Disney moved out of animation into incredible TV shows, and you got to believe me, I was a fan of every single TV show that Disney ever created as part of the Disney Revolution. So that included Hannah Montana, that included Wizards of Waverly Place, that included Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Shake It Up, and I remember all the criticism Bella Thorne received. But Bella Thorne is the reason for Dove Cameron, actually, because Dove Cameron had a song that was played in the background of one of the scenes of Shake It Up. And even when Bella Thorne was receiving so much criticism for being dyslexic and not being able to read and having all the words jumbled up onto a script, I mean, she turned her life around. And even when she was receiving so much criticism, she put over Dove Cameron in a tweet one night years ago on Twitter, and then Dove Cameron's career blew up because of that. Disney gave her an opportunity after having sprinkled her on a show like Shake It Up. And Rocky and Cece's adventures on that TV series, which only lasted 2 seasons, again, a far cry from what it could have ever amounted to. We go from Shake It Up to a show that was originally supposed to have been called Bits and Pieces to Liv and Maddie, which captivated so many hearts. And don't even get me started on being such a huge fan of Liv and Maddie, because if there was a huge fan of Liv and Maddie who was a guy, it was me. I had the biggest crush on Bella Thorne. I had the biggest crush on Dove Cameron. I knew that she played 2 characters on the TV series, and I had a lot of respect for her because I had a lot of respect for Miley Cyrus for playing both Miley Stewart and Hannah Montana on that TV series. Then I saw the Best of Both Worlds tour, and I was blown away by it. But the Zombies, Descendants, Worlds Collide tour, oh, that captivated my heart in so many unbelievable ways because of how Freya Sky could take a song that wasn't even written for her to sing, like Someday with Malachi Burton, and they just brought it to life. They brought it to life. You know something, guys? I hope you had the time of your life at the Worlds Collide Tour. I know a lot of you got tickets in August and September, and you're looking forward to it, so I'm not going to ruin anything for you guys. But those of you who have previously attended the Worlds Collide Tour, my heart goes out to you. And I hope you had the time of your life. I have nothing bad to say about the Worlds Collide Tour. I saw some videos on YouTube. I saw the entire show on YouTube because I couldn't get tickets for it. And I loved it, and from what I saw, you guys have every reason to be excited. For those of you who are going to be seeing this for the first time ever, I hope you have the time of your life. I hope you take millions of photos, and I hope you have an experience that you will cherish for the rest of your life. I have this to say to every parent who made their child's dream possible to get them into the Worlds Collide Tour and how much you sacrificed. You will forever leave an impact and imprint on your child's heart that they will love you forever for. This franchise has touched me in so many unbelievable ways. It has been an honor to be able to sit behind this podcast microphone for what has already been 20 minutes for the last 10 years. And I just really want to talk about this franchise in a way that it will touch everybody's heart. And I like to believe that I've gotten away with that, because sometimes it is really hard to put into words how you're really feeling emotionally about this, because I really don't like how Kylie Contrell has been criticized. I really don't like how Ruby Rose Turner has been criticized. We need to leave them alone. We need to leave them alone. And if we're going to say anything about Kylie Contrell and Ruby Rose Turner for their point of view on Descendants and how they're bringing these characters to life years after Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson did a fabulous job, and Cameron Boyce, we need to say something nice about them to encourage them. We need to offer them encouragement. If they can come out on stage and offer us encouragement, the least we can be is a ray of light in their life to help them make sense of what they may be going through, because nobody knows what a star is going through with all the fame and the publicity. And I mean, we're just everyday people creating these videos. I'm just a loser that creates these videos that just touches hearts for some reason, honestly. So the situation with this YouTube channel is right now I am stuck at 2,748 subscribers. I would love to have 2,750 plus subscribers. So the only ones that can get me out of this situation are you guys. So you have to hit the subscribe button. I may be forever at 2,748 subscribers. Hopefully some girl is going to love these videos enough that she's going to hit the subscribe button for me, because she knows I love creating these videos and she thinks I'm the sweetest guy ever. That's the only hope that I got. As a YouTube creator, one can only hope that someone is going to hear their voice and hit their subscribe button and support them as much as he or she has supported the franchise. But the way I look at these videos that people are uploading, and I'll talk about this more tonight, if they're uploading a reaction video, that's all they give you is a reaction video. They jump into the reaction video and that's it. I do reaction videos, but I do an introduction before, and I tell you what's going on, what's happening, how much money I may have spent today. I spent $100 on a headset last week because my headset blew up and my reciprocal lights blew up, and I had to spend $350 on reciprocal lights. They don't look that expensive, but they really were. It has been an honor to be able to sit behind this podcast microphone and a credit card nightmare later to create these videos for each and every one of you. I have to go pick up some Cinnamon Toast Crunch too the more I think about it, because Ryan McCartan's face reminds me of the Captain Crunch guy in the cereal box. So I got to do that because of how he treated Dove. Nobody deserves to be treated unfairly in this life. Nobody deserves to be overshadowed by something else happening. So I think we just need to be more kind to each other. And that's all I've ever wanted to instill in your minds, is that kindness goes a long way. Like songs like Life is Sweeter When You Are did for us. Life is Sweeter When You Are has become the anthem of my life, really. This has been an incredible journey that you girls have got me on, and I will forever be indebted to each and every single one of you for how unforgettable of a journey this has been. If I've been riding on a noble steed for forever through the forests of Oregon and ended up at Oregon Prep, I've never wanted to leave since. The doors could have locked behind me, and I never would have wanted to leave since, because I've watched the rise of Red 100 times, and if there's somebody out there that loves it so much, it's this guy right here. And I love each and every one of you. I know I don't respond to any comments, but a lot of stuff gets in the way sometimes. I do read down through every comment that's left, and I like to believe that I inspire people. I do hear your stories. I do love hearing your stories, how inspirational these videos are, and it's such a huge honor to have touched everybody's heart. I literally, every time I record videos, I have tears in my eyes, because I don't think a guy goes as far as what I do to really bring the franchise to life, because it's one thing to sit down and talk about it, but I see no point in just talking about it. I try to really bring it to life, to give somebody an inspirational thought, if anything, to leave an inspirational thought as the last thought in somebody's mind from watching these videos, so they will hit the subscribe button. I just want you to know everything is going to be okay, okay? Everything is going to be okay. I'm going to help you make sense of the Descendants and Zombies franchise the way it's been meant to be made sense of for forever. Don't mind everybody criticizing it, because I will do my best to take that away from you, and I will do the best that I can to really bring it to life. Just like I promised you, Ryan McCartan wasn't going to upload any more videos on YouTube. This YouTube channel premiered a year ago, and with all your guys' help, we have removed Ryan McCartan from YouTube. He hasn't uploaded the video since last year. So hopefully we'll keep him off YouTube, and we'll keep all these critics off of YouTube, and more people will have something fun to talk about when it comes to Descendants and Zombies, because I'm really excited about the Worlds Collide tour. I really am. And I hope I can just bring this to life in a way that it was meant to be brought to life for you for far long enough now. Because if we're going to say something nice about Descendants and Zombies, that's what we should do. We should just say something relatively nice about it. I don't know why more people can't, and see it for what it's worth like I can. Not just Descendants and Zombies, but High School Musical, Hannah Montana, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Kim Possible, the Aladdin animated TV series, the Little Mermaid animated TV series, Bonkers, Goof Troop. Why can't we just say something nice about people like Kylie? I love you guys so much. Be kind to one another. Bye, YouTube. We will do this again in a few hours. Just stay kind. Be kind to one another, because kindness really does go a long way in this world.